everybody, and welcome to the second set of the day. We've got Goomba versus Polarity. I'm Llama Down Under, joined by PqMz. I'm very interested to see how this one goes down. Again, if the underdogs take it again, that would be Goomba, since this Polarity team is stacked.
Yeah, they're pretty much like the CIS powerhouse in the lower tiers, right?
They are one of the very good teams that is, yes, as you said, come out of. There was a big CIS shuffle. A lot of us English speakers maybe don't know as much about what happened, but their shuffle was as disruptive as the North American one. And yeah, this is one of the teams to come out that I'm interested in seeing how they do. They have had some good results recently, but it's really hard to say because it's against lower tier teams. They've been playing in some smaller tournaments.
Like if you look
Ten
at least
seconds
three of the
remaining.
players in like Lil DK Phobos and Pasha, they all have like LAN
Radiant
experience,
team pick.
basically been on tier one teams before. Afro Ninja was it Power Rangers or am I thinking of someone
I
else?
want to say Power Rangers, but we could be wrong.
Yeah, like he was like one of their best players by far, like mechanically skilled. And then I have no idea how you pronounce Purple's name, but I've seen
Uh,
him in pubs a
I
lot as
believe
well.
it's Xenia. I could be wrong on that. Or Zena? Zena?
I'll just go with Purple Player from now
Apparently,
on.
it's Eugene in English. It's like the Russian version or the Slavic version of Eugene. I'm not quite sure
Interesting.
how that happens.
I'll go with purple player so I don't screw anything up.
Okay, let's talk about the draft because we've got an Earth Spirit and OD ban out. Them's the rule. IO banned out, so that's kind of been very standard. Bounty Hunter's still in, Invoker's still in. Goomba could get that Faceless Void Invoker that's pretty dang popular.
Yeah, I see no reason they wouldn't unless they specifically don't like to play the Invoker, which some teams it's rare these days, but some of the lower tier teams don't have like amazing
Dire
Invoker
team
players, so
ban.
they'd rather go with something else. And also I like the fact that
Radiant team ban.
Polarity go for the Venge because it counteracts and like the Invoker being picked up, it's also very good against the Void, and the team fight's not so much in the lane, but you got to take sacrifices somewhere. So
Yeah. Now for
10
Polarity,
seconds remaining.
is there icon? Is that what do they call them in
5
the
seconds
northern
remaining.
hemisphere? Hedgehog?
I
Is it
could
a
see how
hedgehog?
you could think it's a hedgehog, yeah.
Reserve time.
Yeah, I think it's a. Well, what do you think it is? Morphling?
No, I didn't have a particular opinion on it until you stated it,
I
but I
think it's
could
a
see how you
hedgehog.
think it looks like a hedgehog.
I like
It
keep.
looks kind of like Sonic to me.
Oh my gosh! And their name is Polarity. It's all coming
Dire
together.
team
I was
ban.
also gonna wonder if they would like have to pick Magnus, with their name being Polarity, but that is
team
neither
ban.
here nor there. It's gonna be the Death Prophet.
But
It's gonna be the Death Prophet and the Drow ban out. I think Goomba doing a good job of noticing that Polarity could just go for a push strat. Um, and it's gonna be the Sven for Polarity. They just really don't
10
want to deal with that.
seconds
Maybe they'll
remaining.
even get rid of the Jug here too.
I
5
think Sven's
seconds
it's
remaining.
quite awkward to play with Void, but Sven's a very strong hero these days. So he's also not
Reserve
a hero that
time.
Prophet I feel like pressures too much in the lane because he has a lot of kill potential on you, and the treants can just become food as the game comes later. So maybe just preference. They don't want to build too much kiting. They already
Yeah.
have the meme sprout, but most players they'll deal with that now.
Oh, yeah, it's also, maybe folks group up, you get a big Stormhammer into a Chronosphere, or vice versa, Chronosphere into a big old Stormhammer. Or if your Sven's, or if your Faceless is really good, I've seen this before, right? You just put people on the edges and then you God Strength cleave them down. It's going to be the Puck for Polarity, both teams keeping nice color themes. Well, there's the Zeus ban out. Interesting that the Zeus ban out comes from Polarity, since they have the beginnings of the global.
Maybe it's just not their preference. I, personally, I'd agree with you, but it might make their lanes too susceptible that they feel like there's still like
10
Bounty,
seconds
Shaker,
remaining.
Tusk in the pool. Maybe they don't want a mid that's too
5
susceptible.
seconds remaining.
Plus, I think Venge and Puck is one of the best duos
Reserve
to go
time.
with. You've got really insane counter initiation from both of them, and like really good offensive potential as well. Like you swap people out of
Radiant
coil,
team
Yeah.
pick.
even if it's Ags as well. Like you have insane lockdown potential.
We rarely see the
Something like
swap out of Dream Coil to like disable someone, get a kill, but it's, as you mentioned, it's certainly totally doable. Goomba just go with the Windrunner. That's how they're gonna pound into the Chronosphere.
It's been way less favorable recently, but a few patches ago, Windrunner was for shit, and now with Void being
10
so popular,
seconds
it makes a lot of
remaining.
sense. It's also fairly good against like the
5
Prophet in
seconds
general. Lots of
remaining.
things to shackle off in the team fights.
Reserve time.
They are like really physical based at the moment though, so Ghost Scepters, high armor heroes, something Polarity might be looking to grab.
Dire team pick.
And I think they do the most Russian thing.
Yeah.
Like CK without Wisp is, I think it's only Russian teams that do it. And I'm a big CK advocate. I think it absolutely slaughters like Void, Windrunner.
Can we just discuss? You say like it's the most Russian thing, but it really is. It's no every other scene pri- prioritizes different carries over the
10
CK.
seconds
Every other
remaining.
scene, when you pair something up with the IO, it's always the tiny, and then
5
you get
seconds
Russian
remaining.
Dota, and it's always CK. It's CK's the best. Let's do some more CK.
Radiant team ban.
So
I don't mean it as like a slant or anything. It's just
no,
it,
I really like it.
that's I think CK is an amazing hero, but unfortunately he's not at the strongest he's ever been right now.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of
He
control coming out from Goomba, so
10 seconds remaining.
he's pretty much going to have to one and done a lot of these fights, like get a kill quickly,
5
or
seconds remaining.
it's not going to go too well for him. They do have a decent amount of control for like the puck and such, and they can scale with the
Reserve
Prophet, so it's
time.
not too all in. But I think Goomba's just looking a bit more steady at the moment, because I think Chaos Knight's so much of a hit or miss hero.
I think it's. I was less saying that CK's bad. I think it's more impressive how regions, despite the amount that we play each other in Dota across regions, I think that
So much personal
yeah,
preference.
there's still very clearly metas for certain regions. Either way, get into this draft. We have an Enigma.
Dire team
We've seen a
ban.
lot of Enigma this morning, doing a lot of work. Big black holes. Always exciting to see. Now, Gyrocopter going to be the ban out. They don't want Polarity doesn't want to have to deal with any more big AOE in that Faceless Void, Chronosphere, or the Enigma black hole.
10 seconds remaining.
I could actually see Polarity setting up for some kind of aggro lane. That
5
might be why they
seconds
went for the
remaining.
CK as well, to maybe punish if they did pick something like an Enigma or.
Reserve time.
And plus, Prophet's good enough against Void. I think it's a bit of a wash either which way. And then if you've got the tri-lane roaming, you can send like the Venge plus,
Radiant
I don't know,
team pick.
they could get Rubik as an example. Lots of decent heroes out there. They could then roam mid, kill the Windrunner, give Puck an advantage. Or they could go with Bounty, and
Dire
that gives
team
some
pick.
like still some kind of pressure on the mid lane, a way to shut down the Enigma, and it's not as quote unquote all in as tri-lanes can be at times.
Yeah, I'm really interested with this kind of last minute bounty pick. Venge, she might have a rough time with the Faceless Void here, although they could burst him down. Certainly with the chained stuns, the Chaos Knight and the
10
Venge could
seconds
burst him
remaining.
out, but she's not great at harassing him. Her range isn't fantastic. He's going to
5
time walk
seconds
off,
remaining.
even maybe before the stun hits, although of course he needs levels before he can spam that. It's
Reserve time.
an interesting lane from Polarity.
The Void's gonna have to play slightly careful though, because the Prophet can always TP in, and the Bounty could maybe be there. So I think the early minutes of the game he'll get a decent amount, but when Chaos Knight gets like treads, Venge gets like level 2 or 3, so she actually can. Because one way Venge is normally zone out is the skill wave level 1, so they can trade hits more efficiently. Then there's no kill potential, so she needs level 2 for the stun, etc. Yeah, Void shouldn't have too hard of a time. I agree with that.
And that could really be troublesome because obviously when you pick a jungler or a roaming hero like the bounty hunter, the opponents have a chance to punish, but with Faceless Void not really getting punished because there are extra heroes in his lane, I guess Bounty Hunter can be a pain to Enigma in the jungle. That's something that's pretty reliable. So maybe it'll be Enigma who ends up super slowed down, like we saw last game actually in the farming.
It was more his levels in the other game, to be fair. Like his
Mm.
farm was still on par. But you could also look at it on the flip side for Polarity. They have a pick to deal with it now if they really want to deal with the Prophet in the lane. But Witch Doctor, he's considered one of the better heroes against Prophet due to the fact he can generally stop the creep pull. But he can't really ever win a right click war with him. So the carry's going to have
10
to do a lot at
seconds
zoning the
remaining.
Prophet out if that's something they prioritize. And if they don't, Prophet Bounty
5
is a
seconds
very
remaining.
formidable dual lane. I think that's why they're taking so long. Something like Weaver could work. Ember's very susceptible to getting shit on in that lane, though. Like
Thank you. I
I
like how you phrase that. Susceptible to getting shat on. That's
I don't even think he's like the best hero against CK because okay, if CK goes on like the Windrunner, she gets her E off, and then Ember like crits off 2 or 3 of the illusions and cleaves them. Okay, maybe it's a bad scenario for CK, but imagine a much more like simple scenario. Puck blink silences Ember, coils him, you break the coil with Ripped, or you just stun him, and then Ember's dead in like 3 or 4 right clicks unless his team helps him out. And they don't have the best saving mechanisms unless they're committing Black Hole or Chrono. So I don't know, I'm not sure I like the pick. I love the hero, but I just don't think
Prepare
it's
for
ideal this
battle.
game because he's never going to be able to manfight the CK. Prophet can pressure him in the lane. If
I
it does go well, it's alright, but he doesn't synergize the best with Void because even if Void gets like a 3-man Chrono where they're all on the edge, he's probably not cleaving them. He's might walk up and right click one of them if they're on the edge, but that's not reliable in my opinion. I think it's much more like on the Windrunner, if anything.
I'm not gonna lie. I definitely think this is a game where there's good potential for the Ember Spirit, but he's gonna need a hell of a lot of farm to get online and get that business going.
Yeah. I was thinking Weaver or something. It doesn't deal with CK as well, but it's better in the lane. It's better synergy with the rest of the heroes. It doesn't need anywhere as near as
30
much farm
seconds to
because
battle.
Ember's a hero that wants to move into the woods and clear them out when he can, but Enigma's going to want to do that. If Enigma's not doing it, Windrunner likes to utilize the woods every now and again, so they have quite greedy heroes already in that respect. And Polarity definitely have a lineup that can shut it down. They don't
Yes.
need a lot of time. They just need like 10 minutes, and they have enough items to go and fight.
The battle
Sometimes they
begins.
won't even need the 10 minutes. They'll just need the levels. Like Puck gets Stream Coil, they go and do something. CK gets, he doesn't even need his ult, but like level 6 or 7 gets his spells with like drums or treads. Hell, even just like boots and a mango and a stick, you might want to go do something. You know, the hero's so good at fighting early.
Now they've done a really nice thing here. They actually sent a treant up there, try and make sure that they could. I don't know. I think it's deterring them from possibly checking for the ward because there was a treant there. So, but either way, Enigma's gonna ferry the first salve out to mid. So there's gonna be no hope of kind of sneaking that kill. Let's look at the offlaners. Nature's
They
Prophet,
did
I
see
mean,
the bounty earlier. Like I think he was in tower vision. They pinged him, so they know he's there.
Nature's Prophet, I mean, we'll have to see if Witch Doctor is able to pull and really contest some of that. While on the bottom lane, Faceless Void was forced a ways back, actually going with the Howl at level 1 to harass more effectively.
This is the only way I feel like you can zone a Void out as a bench.
I'm actually gonna have a seizure. Like, look at this bottom lane. Guys, I didn't realize we'd need a warning here. If you can't stand flashing lights, you probably shouldn't be watching this game. Because we've got some Reality Rift canceling just constantly going on. Now, Windrunner hasn't placed the sentry yet, but does have one on her, and there is not one on the Bounty Hunter. Where are counter sentries?
The bench is
Yeah, has
like
used
used
them?
for one bottom, so I don't see where the second one is.
It's probably
Not
on
Arya.
someone?
I
Oh
can't
well,
see it.
clearly we're idiots.
Oh, it's in mid. It's in mid. It's in mid.
Okay.
He's hiding it. That's quite smart.
Oh, holy Hannah, that is... We would never have found that. Okay, I don't even feel bad. That is really smart there, because of course the Windrunners...
I mean, I found it. There's no we in this, Llama.
Shut up, PQ. Don't show me up in front of new people, PQ. Either way, really nice play there. They're maybe going to think the Windrunner, or the Windrunner will think she's safer for long, and when creep momentum's coming back, she can do something. Meanwhile, on both sides, actually the Chaos Knight doing a little bit better than the Ember Spirit. Obviously, the Nature's Prophet is getting some farm here too, and the side pulls not really contesting him, I think, as much as they were hoping for.
Yeah, and because of the threat of the bounty, this Enigma's like at the safest hard camp you could go to, I suppose. This is exactly what I was afraid of for Goomba. Like, Polarity are winning their lanes, and that's really bad for them, because that's where Polarity can snowball very easily. It's not easy for Goomba to win the lanes, but they just need to be getting enough.
Alpha Ninja getting ready to pop himself. I was gonna say he just ran right up to this Windrunner's face, but not really much Windrunner can do there. I mean, you can't trade as effectively as you'd like ever with a puck.
Don't
So.
mind me.
Meanwhile, the Ember Spirit, he started to pick up his form a bit, catching back up to that Chaos Knight. Although Chaos Knight just having a blast in the bottom lane, and the Faceless Void, he is level 3, you know, the Nature's Prophet's level 3. He's getting the levels, but not nearly as much farm as Prophet.
I think that's expected though, and he's also getting like at least level 4 off this creep wave, so they're not doing the best job of denying him, but I don't think it's feasible at all when they went for this bounty pick.
Yeah. Speaking of the bounty pick, we haven't seen too much out of him. He came mid, did harass a little bit, has passively gotten the gold up for that Orb of Venom. He's out of mana right now, so maybe not going to see too much happen for him up in top, other than
Kind of
Leech.
surprised he didn't just like deny to neutrals.
And with that, just in a flash, we will see the Faceless Void go down. Looks like they dropped everything.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Yeah, and that's
attack.
like a level 1 stun as well, which is kind of questionable, I suppose, but I like the idea of the aura. It works really well with like the rest of their team, and they want to group up, but you normally see Vengers like go for a bit more.
Oh,
one or
Witch
the
Doctor
other.
on the top lane now taking some harassment. Oh, they've got this kill easily. And now they're gonna go for more. This Ember Spirit, he's trying to stay and lost hit, but I'm not sure he can afford that.
And he's fine, but this is the problem when your support feels like he can't do anything on the lane. Prophet just has free run. While the Ember's actually getting good CS, look at the disparity. Void has free CS, he's getting good levels, but even without that death, it's fine for the Void, but this farm disparity is like huge, and Prophet is a hero that excels with extra items.
Similarly, we can see that this Windrunner, she's only 6 CS behind in mid, but there are so many denies on Alpha Ninja. He is half a level ahead of the Windrunner right now, and of course, having that Dream Coil up, with one rotation, Windrunner may be in trouble, but here comes the Enigma.
Not gonna happen.
He's already got his Soul Ring up, level 4. Got some points in that Malefice.
That's yours.
I actually think like the puck's doing really well to be like ahead at all. I actually think Windrunner's like slightly easier to CS with. I mean, it's harder
This is
to
a
hit
hard
him
lane
with
to
the...
punish, though, right? Like, Puck, that's what you do in mid. You just don't get punished by all of this spam that other mids may have.
Yeah, and that's probably the reason. And obviously the threat of the bounty. Like, if you don't know where he is, you might miss a few CS just because you're prioritizing your positioning or something, and you know, it's mind games at the end of the day.
Yeah, and they're clearly working out. We can see that Polarity, they've gotten themselves a slight lead this early in the game. It's pretty good, but it's still nothing to write home about. One team fight could turn that all around. Enigma's actually in the Radiant jungle, starting to fall behind when you consider where usually an Enigma would be. You know,
Dire's
6
middle
minutes in,
tower
having
is
only
under
level
attack.
4. You can farm a lot faster than that.
Yeah, his game's a disaster right now. Like that is desperation, like 101. Going into the enemy woods, spawning.
Okay, Celery is just standing here taking a lot of damage. This should be an easy kill there. I'm not quite sure what happened. It looks like he may have been buying or looking elsewhere, but doesn't matter. They dropped the Dream Coil. There is already 6 up, but it takes so much mana for this Ember. He is going to bottle. Has a Mango as well, so should be fine. And Alpha Ninja only able to get the 1 kill with the haste turn.
But again, it's more pressure applied. Sure, the coil was kind of wasted.
Oh, Reality Rift and the stun. Scabo going down on that Faceless
Is
Void.
under attack.
And this is just giving like so much to the CK. He's already 500
Dire's
ahead.
bottom tower is under attack.
And this is one of the few heroes I think if you give an early lead to, he really thrives with it. Like more so than any other hero, I think. In terms of what he does with it. It's not like an anti-mage where you get a 10-minute naked battlefield, your farm goes up. That doesn't impact the game in any way of like other than economy. With CK, he's going to run at you and you're not going to be able to kill him very easily. Like both your ults from Enigma and Void are very long cooldown, 0 damage. So you're relying entirely on Witch Doctor's ult to do damage, and the Windrunner through like the Void Ult anyway, then Ember can do damage through like Shackles and the Black Hole. But again, he's not going to feel comfortable going too deep because whenever the CK isn't controlled, if he's got like 2 or 3 illusions, Ember can die in 1 stun.
Yeah. I think...
And that's just the one hero you're worrying about. There's still like the Prophet right clicks who's hitting for 100. The Puck will be hitting for about 100 if the range is close as well. Like, all the heroes are just making themselves be scary because of this good start. Like hell, even Benj is like higher level than the Enigma nearly. They're within 100 of experience of each other. It's looking so good for Polarity.
And as you mentioned, it's difficult because they are on heroes that snowball really effectively. Chaos Knight, we've all seen how Phantasm can just roll over people's faces, and he's going to have up... Actually going for the Aquila. Kinda wasn't expecting that, was expecting the drums build up, but hey, you do what you gotta do.
He's really mana intensive hero, and
Yes.
Aquila's just good stats, so I like it a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bounty and Benj both go for Arcanes, just because CK is like, it's similar to like a lot of the strength or
I think
actually carries.
The
Oh, they want
Bounty
mana.
will be our Guardian Greaves carrier here. I think it makes a lot of sense to let him go that item, and then let the Nature's Prophet build more of that. I mean, the world's really this Nature's Prophet's oyster, but I do think the early Orchid up on the Nature's Prophet could cause a lot of problems. Maybe not as effective here since there's already the Puck Silence, so you expect the Ember Spirit to go a defensive item like the Manta, the BKB, but it's just another layer of pain for that Ember Spirit.
And it's not just the Ember, like Windrunner as well is very susceptible to it. Void, like all their cores. And obviously Enigma's no better at dealing with it. And they have 0 defensive heroes. Unless they're committing the big ults to help someone get away. And Enigma, it doesn't always help them get away. He's normally just sacking himself if you drop a black hole. So I could see it for sure. I also wouldn't be surprised if he just goes like Maelstrom or some kind of more damage output in the fights, more farming item. The Orchid's still good at both the things I just listed.
Yeah. I mean, he's got options, and I think it's perfectly reasonable. We talk a lot about item pickups, especially in pauses, right? Because there's not too much else to say this early on. But sometimes you really do need to wait, see how the game's developing, to figure out exactly what item build you might be wanting on these cores.
Prophet's also like the hero that has probably the biggest array of items he could get.
Yeah, Prophet and
Like-
Mirana do whatever they want. Oh, speaking of Prophet doing whatever he wants, he's come down to the bottom lane. Not going to be able to catch out the Faceless Void, but they will begin their push on this bottom
Dire's
lane.
bottom tower is under attack.
The response is coming in from Goomba as well, but
Structures are
oh,
fortified.
okay, it's not even a response. It's just like the Enigma farming and the Windrunner going for runes. So
Yeah, they
if
don't
they
have any...
don't come, this is a tier 2. If he pops Phantasm, I think.
Dire's bottom
Yeah, it
tower
looks like they're
has
continuing to
fallen.
push, and as you talked about, those early points in Vengeance Aura, right? Didn't, you know, a lot of people like maxing the stun for the damage, but when you're gonna just early push like this, tier 2s be damned.
No, I completely, I understand it and I really like it, but my personal approach would have been like the
Radiant's
second
middle
point in
tower
stun just
is
to
under
secure the
attack.
kill on the Void, but they were doing that anyway.
Oh,
so...
TP rotation's coming in. We've got the Phantasm out. He only gets one, but look at him. He almost bloody two-shots the Enigma. Nature's Prophet will finish him off anyway. Time dilation, it's not gonna help too much. Senya's still alive on and gonna TP out, but it looks like Pasha may be the one to go down. Pasha, he will end up falling there. But they did a lot of damage to that tier 2 Chronosphere expended.
That's like, what was that, 3 TPs for a 1-for-1 trade. The tower still goes down on the tier 1. Tier 2 is basically dead.
Dire's
If you look at mid,
structures are
Bounty's getting his
fortified.
level 5, the Puck's pressuring top, another Prophet's up, he's TPing to deal with that as well. It's like, that's a big win for Polarity, even though they lose their CK, who
Yeah.
gave a decent chunk of money. Who was it that got it? It was Windrunner, so one of the better heroes to get it, but,
Dire's top tower has fallen.
you know, it's still a win for them. Like a massive win, almost.
In this type of game, are you trying to just rush your blink on Puck, or do you get greedy, maybe try to go for something in between? Because you are doing very well.
I think Blink's pretty standard.
Oh
but
no, poor Scabbo, he doesn't realize, but he's surrounded. They're just gonna play with their food. He does of course have the time walk, he can actually get 3 of those off. If he needs to, but here we go. Is the silence gonna come out? No, he's able to walk on out. They drop the Dream Coil as well, though. They might be in a little bit of trouble. There's the Malefice helping them catch up. They may just expend the Black Hole here. Enigma's going for it. They're gonna pick off Afro Ninja, and a huge kill coming out here for Goomba. They desperately needed that pick off, and good early usage on that black hole. Yeah, that was a 1,000 gold kill.
Yeah, that's pricey.
Oh,
and
can
now...
they get more? They need to land the Sleight of Fist Searing Chains just out of range. The stun coming out from Xena. Nobody's gonna be going down today.
Except for the puck.
That was yesterday. It's daytime now.
Ah, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not keeping track of the Dodo in-game times.
So,
But they're still ahead after that, though. It's like still a 4K lead. Sure, it's a costly kill, but they're going bottom now. They're going to finish off this tier 2. They're getting complete map control. They're forcing Goomba to expend their ults for single pickoffs with no collateral, which is such a big thing to take into account. Like, Windrunner and Enigma are both really good at like transitioning kills into towers. And they haven't been allowed to do that this entire game. So they're pretty much just losing out on that fact. Like, most of this gold lead is the fact that 3 towers are down.
and
Some
while-
of it's the CS as well, but you know, that's the big difference here.
And there's definitely something to be said for the fact that you can argue the towers in the bottom lane for Dire are the least important, but that tier 2 at the very least gives you some Roche control. And losing all your outer towers, all your tier 1 towers, really loses you a lot of map control. You can see here that already the vision is hurting. They're deep behind the tower, they're gonna find themselves some celery, and he will be falling here. Easy pick off. Still not level 6 on the bounty hunter, so not a track kill. But now Windrunner, she's in the side. There's gonna be the stun after the swap. Do they have enough damage to pick her off? The orb is up. They're gonna drop the dream coil, and celery. There's nowhere for Shadow Slash Strike to go. He's gonna be just fine though. Both of them TPing out.
That was really good that they both lived there, but it's still...
I mean, they still have the Chronosphere. They could try to just use it here on Af and Ninja. They will have a Sleight of Fist. Oh no, the stun. Is Xenia going to be the one who goes down instead? Xenia trying to get away. Where is the stun? Oh, it's on cooldown. He doesn't have it because it's only level 1. And now the Death Ward dropped for Af and Ninja. Chaos Knight will immediately pick off that Witch Doctor. Scabo still has the mana for the Time Walk. They're never going to catch this guy at this rate, but they could turn around. Oh no, they want more. They want that Faceless Void. Unable to get him again. He time walks away. Pasha trying to keep fighting. Nature's Prophet has come back into the fight. One more auto attack and brings down the Faceless Void. Now sprouting up people. The courier. Someone has to micro this thing or it's going to go down. Power Shot not getting a kill or anything. And with everybody tracked up, easy. Oh no, they're going back in. They've got the omelet. 2 more auto attacks and they will bring down that Ember Spirit. Now everybody with minus Alma, I don't think they can fight here. Black Hole not up for 34 seconds. And Polarity.
That's so demoralizing for them as well. It's like... You said toying with their food earlier, and that's almost exactly what that is. Like,
I mean,
Vision's
Chaos Knight going back in. There's another track kill. The Shackle will latch. Really 2 good heroes to get it on, but there will still be nothing this poor Enigma can do. He's walking away. Scabo trying to come back in. One more auto attack, bringing down the Enigma. There's Alma toggling, trying to make sure that they can get Pasha to safety. Actually, Af and Ninja in a bit of trouble with the swap away, saving his life. Can he jump forwards in time? Yes, now he's going to refill his bottle. The Shackle comes out, does not stop the bench. There is going to also be the trap in the trees. These things doing mad work. Bounty Hunter tracking from behind. Ember Spirit trying to come in and get something done, though, now. He doesn't have much damage, but maybe the Remnant Bomb, the Searing Chains, will bring them down. And we'll see, finally, maybe, things will stop. They're looking for more, but with no detection for DK Phobos. He's going to be fine. Oh, but we're not done yet, of course. Goomba in a lot of trouble here. They will lose their Faceless Void. A nice silence set up by Puck, and suddenly, he's got a blink.
Yep. This is just so good from Polarity. Like, the way they're taking these fights, they're extending it to points where it's like almost risky, but they're just completely outplaying them. Like, that entire like 5-minute engagement almost, like maybe it wasn't quite 5, but like 2-3 minutes at least, where they were just moving around. They got the better end of it the entire time. And the way they saved each other and moved around, like, this team hasn't been together for what, more than a month? They look pretty freaking good. Like, in terms of synergy. Admittedly, Goomba aren't making it very hard for them. Unfortunately. But, you know, it's still good for them. They're looking really clean. And once they get their mech finished on the bounty, which is like 400 away, I don't see a way that Goomba will win a team fight unless it's excessive amounts of heroes getting caught in the Wombo combo. And even then, it's like they've got Benj and Puck who can both cancel. Like, namely the Black Hole.
Now, we have seen some overextensions by Polarity, but of course, when you're running a bounty hunter, you can trade unevenly. They're 7.5 thousand net worth ahead.
Dire's
Not
middle
terribly
tower
far on
is
the
under
experience,
attack.
but I mean, that just emphasizes the point more, right? Bounty Hunter's doing work.
Yeah, and any kills that Polarity did give up were like quite heavy experience. So I don't know. I'm just feeling really good for Polarity here. And I also want to point out the Puck's going for like one level in the Dream Core, which I think is really smart. Something that I started doing a really long time ago because level 4 phase shift is so important. If you can skate on the outside of these fights for a bit
Okay,
longer.
DK Phobos, you should know that you're right under a ward there, but Puck coming in to help you out. The Death Ward ends up being stopped. Celery unable to continue it, and he will fall as well. Shackle onto Half an Ninja. There it is. They're doing a lot of damage, but the swap save one more auto attack. He didn't get it off. The phase shift, and he will finally take down the Puck, but they kill the Windrunner. Just what you were talking about. Phase shift doing so much work. And they're going for the tier 3s.
Attack.
I mean, why not? They have Phantasm with the extra illusion, Armlet was popped, so they hit like trucks. They force a buyback out of the Windrunner, who, like, she was the highest net worth here on their team, still is, but
She
Dire's
really
bottom
can't afford
tower
it.
has fallen.
I mean, they feel desperate.
my
but, like,
goodness,
look
she's
at
dying.
these illusions.
Yeah, she's dying to the illusion. She has to Windrunner away from the Chaos Knight illusions that still, if there weren't the coconuts there, I think would have murdered her face. And speaking of face murdering, Ember Spirit not in a good spot. He's going to go for the TP away. There's the stun coming out from Xena, and there will be no escape here. He can maybe remnant up, but the soul burn will be enough to kill him off.
And now they've got the mech finished, they've got just everything they need. It's hard to see Goomba coming back into this because the Ember's, he's gone for bots. He doesn't have any kind of fighting items other than, I suppose, a wand and a kilo you could count, but at 17 minutes they aren't enough. And this is why I thought the hero wasn't that good, because if it fell behind in the laning stage, which was very feasible that it did, this is not where you want your Ember to be.
Now, on the upside, we saw a lot of this yesterday. If you do fall behind, but you successfully manage to defend, you get huge amounts of gold because of the rubber band effect. So this is certainly one of those games at this point. Ember Spirit has up the bots, doesn't really have anything else. This smoke, though, can they? I mean, it's so hard to go on the Puck. They're trying to give it a go. The Puck's just gonna blink away. No Chronosphere able to be dropped in time.
It's unfortunate that it's just a desperation smoke, because
Radiant's bottom
there's so
tower
many
is
heroes
under
that if
attack.
Polarity show those heroes, or like have people behind them.
Oh no,
They're
they
not
like
gonna
they're gonna three-shot the poor Enigma. He's still alive. Can he black hole? He manages to get it off, but then it's stopped. The Chronosphere comes out though. They're still in the Midnight Pulse. The Death Ward's going. This will be a big series of kills. They've managed to get off 2. Can they find some more? DK Phobos running ahead of them. They're not gonna see him, but they are gonna see Xena, and they will try to bring down this Venge if it's the last thing they do. A series of huge kills for the lineup of Goomba, but in comes Half an Ninja. Big Puck damage coming out from him. Not quite able to seal the deal. Oh, do we have shurikens flying around? Will we see a kill? Yes, they managed to pick off the Witch Doctor, and Puck isn't done yet. He's got his business up again in a few seconds. He'll be able to blink forwards, gets it off. He has the Veil now too, and there's nothing they can do. Faceless Void jumps in, but other than time dilation, he has nothing to give. They managed to drop the Veil. They just need to get another couple of tracks off, but of course, DK Phobos has his cooldowns locked.
Like,
They will be good.
I never really thought about it, but time dilation literally destroys Puck.
Yeah, it destroys a lot of heroes, PQ. It's really strong.
Yeah, like when it comes to mind, like obviously there's like Bristleback, Invoker, etc. But I just never had the unpleasant pleasure of playing Puck against Void, and now I know I shouldn't.
It
I
destroys
guess
all
you
of the
can phase shift-
spellcasters. Like, everybody.
Yeah, but like if I don't know if Windrunner gets locked, I don't think she cares that much. But or Lena or any of those heroes, because they've normally dropped their spells and they're not relying on a 6-second cooldown to allow themselves to be like, you know, that's like the core of his hero. It's not the silence, it's not the dream call, it's the phase shift. So it's an important part of the hero.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a good turnaround. The fight recap, I don't believe, ever came up because they were still fighting. But you
I
can see
mean,
there's a dip in the net worth chart, and it'll continue down a little, but then back up.
That's so scary though. That they won the team fight, and then Puck came in pretty much solo against 4 heroes, and nearly killed all of them. just with a Veil combo. If he had Coil, I'm pretty sure they would have like ultra killed them there with a bit of help from the bounty. The Veil is just so strong at this point, and all the heroes are so squishy without like the mech being on cooldown. Just imagine there's like a Prophet ult or a CK that's beating into them.
Yeah.
They managed to like actually get a really good fight there, despite the fact the black hole got cancelled. Like, the Witch Doctor just destroyed them with the.
Yeah, sorry, just
Front
laughing at the
getting
chat. They're just being cute. I guess these teams know each other pretty well. I'm a little
Maybe.
surprised. I thought Goomba had some Greek players, but I could be wrong.
Well, Celery's.
Is it Celery Greek? That's who I thought was
No,
Greek.
he's
Oh.
not Greek. He's either. I think he's Dutch. Or no, he's Swedish.
Oh gosh,
Slash
I'm like
Strike is
way
Dutch,
off.
right? I think the Enigma player is British. I played with him before. I can't really remember. I don't really care about nationalities, but I know they're not Greek, unless the Ember player is Greek or the Void player is Greek.
Okay, I was just completely mixing Celery up with someone else. Doesn't really matter. They're gonna be going for the Roshan. This bad boy is falling quickly, and Goomba not quite in position, especially with these ults on CD.
Yeah, there's still 100 seconds with no black hole. There's 30 seconds with no chrono, and
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
That's the
wouldn't be
scary
surprised
thing,
if-
right? Their
yeah,
cooldowns
both
are
these hit-
super long.
don't go down. I would be surprised. Or they could just swing bottom and get the racks. I think that would be 100 times better than going mid right now. If they just, bypassed that, went like this, I think that's way better than getting the tier 2.
Well,
They
it
know
looks
there's
like
no
they
black
agree
hole.
with you.
Under attack.
Alpha Ninja just gonna poke at the ranged racks a little bit more. I really like also that he went for the Veil. I was, when I was asking about going the Blink or something else first, we've been seeing
Yeah, I was
Pucks pick up the
considering it as
Veil.
well.
It's
But
interesting
I could-
here.
I think Blink's just better because it synergizes well with the rest of his team in
Oh no.
all ways.
Never mind, we have TPs out. Orchid doesn't stop them, so I thought maybe they were gonna be able to throw the shuriken, but it looks like a no. Alpha Ninja gonna blink away even though Slash blinks forwards. Not quite gonna get it, but they had Chronospeared on to the paw. He might just be fine, especially since that shackle was not the one of dreams. They're gonna Phantasm, and Ember Spirit is deleted from the game. There's the Veil going out onto poor Celery. He's gonna get dropped down. Shuriken is gonna be flying around. They still don't have Black Hole. The leap forwards with that reality lift, and now they're working again onto Celery, bringing him down. And Pasha, he is not done yet. He knows he's got an Aegis. He can play as aggressively as he likes. Swap from Xena, trying to make sure that he's just fine. Power shot, not gonna bring him down. Sitting at 52 health there.
They knew he was alone. They chronoed him. They tried to kill him. He gave no shits. He turned and killed them.
It's rough. Let's just put it that way. This game is rough for them.
Pretty much the way they got into this is just picking weaker lanes, and Polarity just playing better and exploiting the weaknesses.
Yeah.
Like, Polarity's draft is, really based on momentum. And Chaos Knight got it. Like, I think it's... Okay, the nature of the heroes, it's fairly hit or miss, but... When you play it perfectly, it can still be completely hit or miss, just based on if certain things work for you or not. And
Goomba-
nothing's not gone for him this game.
Also, I think a part of the problem with the draft, they have really good team fight on Goomba, but of course it's super cooldown dependent. There's gonna be a swap again, just continually saving this CK. Puck gonna jump on out. He does have Dream Coil in 9 more seconds, so he could decide to jump into this, but time dilation on all of them. They can't fight under this. Pasha doesn't care. He's just gonna run up. He was like, whatever, let's burn this Aegis. I don't need it anyway. This should be just in time for the time dilation to wear off, so they can go back in. Track's gonna be coming out again. Shuriken bouncing through the entire team. They're veiled up, taking extra damage from that business. Pasha not quite able to seal the deal, has to be more careful now, does not actually have, there he goes, starting to arm the toggle. There's a nice black hole onto 2 and the Death Ward flying about. Finally though, the Dream Coil onto all 4 of them, but they don't stop the Death Ward, they only stop the black hole. And Goomba finding something big. Although of course, at the cost of losing a lot of damage. They'll find DK Phobos too. There is no escape for this little man, so he's just gonna try to buy some time and get on out. And while all of this is happening, oh, that was not the power shot you were looking for. But it's fine, DK Phobos will die.
Eventually. Very slow and paper death.
Death foretold.
Polarity just... They kind of saw gold and went for it, and it was a bit too ambitious.
And that's what you
Even
need
with
to
the
do.
Aegis,
Dire's top
Yeah,
tower is
like,
under attack.
when the Aegis got popped, like time dilation was up, so they couldn't like re-go immediately. The black hole was like perfect in terms of the puck went in, orbs into the black hole, or well, phases into it, whatever you want to call it. And I think that's only going to work once. Like that, they need to take that hold and really do something with it. Unfortunately, Ember's still 1200 off his Battle Fury. Even when he gets it, I don't think it's going to do anything for him because he's still just going to get melted. Like he has to dodge everything like perfectly for the item to have any impact in the fights. I feel like it's going to help him farming, sure, but the space on the map I don't think will be there.
Yeah, on the other hand, that was a 5k gold swing for them. Ember, who was not looking like he was going to get an averagely timed Battle Fury, is now well on the way to that 25-minute Battle Fury timing, which is considered average, and it's something. The other thing I wanted to point out is we have a Vanguard on Enigma, probably building into a Crimson God, because you never just stop at Vanguard. It's one way to deal with the Chaos Knight and all the Treants and so on. I've just not seen it before, as... I mean, it's not terribly common on the Enigma.
Radiant's top tower
I've seen
is
it a
under
few
attack.
times and I can understand the logic, but I think he
Oh,
just
there's gonna
needs,
be a
like,
Dream Coil just used to blow up the Faceless Void. They do not want to get caught in a Chronosphere. The Midnight Pulse is dropped. Pasha taking a lot of damage since he's so high health, but the range Drax getting incredibly low. The Death Ward is dropped. I'm not okay. With the Sleight of Fist, they do manage to pick off one. The Dream Coil catches out Lil. That's a big kill if they can catch it. Alpha Ninja kind of stuck in the trees and now really stuck in the trees with the Shackle Shot coming through. Pasha getting stunned up by the Coconuts, doing good work, but he pops that Phantasm. Alpha Ninja dropping his spells every shuriken, jumping around, and suddenly all this damage coming out of Polarity. They do still lose Alpha Ninja. Can they find their way to freedom? Pasha will burn down. He almost toggles. Is he going to be fine? No. He does end up going down. Can they kill off the Ember as punishment? Yes, but they'll lose the Nature's Prophet too. These team fights are just not going Polarity's way.
the sad part is I really don't think they mind. Like, every kill they got was tracked. If you look at the gold
Oh,
change,
goodness.
it's equal. On top of that, Void diebacked, so next time if he gets caught out, that is racks, like 100%. Unless they dive tier force, you know, and do Russian things. But that's really scary for Goomba because Polarity can just keep running at them and doing that. And if they ever like want to do it smart and not, you know, go past the racks when someone's brought back and get caught out, then you know they can do it cleanly as well.
I didn't even realize until you mentioned that. That's actually terrifying. Normally, when you're 15,000 net worth behind and you get a 4-for-4 trade, you get 5k gold. Goomba got, you know, they got some money, but they didn't really take anything from Polarity, and that is terrifying. On the upside, Ember Spirit does have the Battle Fury. He's only, you know, 1,500 or so away from Chrysalis. I think he has to go for just the damage right now if they're hoping to hold.
I think you have to go Blink personally because you can disjoint like half the stuns that are giving you a problem. You can not get Reality Rifted, which is again half of his problem. But
Does it really matter if you can't do any damage if you're alive though?
does it really matter if you can do damage if you're dead?
This is true. Problems, we've got problems.
The thing is, he needs both, is what we're getting at. And Blink is definitely the better opening because it allows you to get to the second one faster in terms... Okay, you might not farm like or hit as hard, so your farm speed could go down a bit, but you can push waves with a Blink you otherwise wouldn't with a crit.
Yeah.
Slightly less relevant against a bounty, but you know, if you know where he is, you're safe. Yeah, I don't know. He basically needs 2 or 3 items, and that's the problem they're at. Windrunner also needs several items. Like she's 1,000 away from her ag, then she needs a BKB. Then she needs some damage that isn't Maelstrom, and it's just like 10k away for like 3 or 4 of their heroes.
Well,
And
we'll
for
see.
Polarity, it's here and now, and they can still scale later. They don't have to end it now. They just want to.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do. There is already a Monta up on the Chaos Knight. We can see how much of a pain those illusions have been for Goomba to finish. Polarity going back down to focus on bottom. Aegis isn't, or Roche isn't going to be up for now. It's up. I was wrong. was
Liar.
reading the clock and I was like, that looks like it's pretty soon. But yeah, that's a really short rush respawn time.
I think that was pretty much instant, like 2-3
Mm.
seconds. And if they have the profit, just keep pushing this wave in. Someone goes mid, like ideally the Park. They delay the Roche for maybe a minute or two. Maybe Pasha can finish a heart by the time they've taken the Aegis. If he even wants to go for a heart, I just think it makes the most sense. He could also go like AC or something, but if they can't kill him, he is going to kill them. Or his illusions will kill them and he'll sit and watch and laugh. You know? Like, he has options. Or if he just gets a reaver and sells the Tequila, that might even be enough because it's a buttload of strength.
Yeah, they have options on Polarity. There's just... And now this Chaos Knight, we saw how much trouble it has been for them to bring him down. He's tankier now, he's got the Manta. When he turns that omelet on, he's just... They're in for a world of hurt. Bounty Hunter preemptively getting tracks off. Now, Goomba, if they can do what they've been doing, getting the time dilation on all 5 of the heroes, it's really a point where Polarity have to back out. They can't fight under the effects of time dilation.
Without a blink, that's hard to rely on. Because I think that's actually bigger than anything else that's happened in the past few fights. Like, he's catching nearly everyone with it. With a blink, he definitely will be able to catch more, but he needs that item first. I wouldn't even be surprised if he like sells Iron Talon and Stout to get a blink when he's close enough.
Yeah.
Because a surprise blink could really catch Polarity out, and maybe if they hold an Aegis push, they can stall the game long enough for Ember to actually get the items he needs. And you can always win with an Ember. You know, you have to play like a god, but you can always win.
You're not wrong. Ember is one of those heroes. That's why, in my opinion, Polarity having all of those units, it may eventually come back to bite them, but it's not quite there yet. And Ember, he does end up going the damage, not the blink, but as you said, it's a hard call. He's gonna have to really hope his team protects him here. There's one reality rift, and then the silence. He's gone.
Yep, like... personally, I just can't see the reason for going for it. I like... But he feels the reason is he needs damage, so maybe his team can like frontline enough that he can skirt around and get multiple slides up throughout a fight, like between Crimson and Mech. The team's not squishy, but I wouldn't say they're tanky.
We did just
Especially if
reality
it's
rift and
Chaos
Eidolon. It was...
Gotta get that farm.
Yeah. I mean, the vision here, you can see, oh, they actually have a good idea of where Skullbow is. They really want to know. While the dire vision just kind of... It's okay.
I'm surprised they're 5-manning this so much. Like, Lil could just go pushing top, draw one hero away. They don't have to, like, brute force it with 5, I don't think.
It's just really feeling like they want to. Polarity want this Rax. They want it now. Orbs again coming through, giving them some vision. With all of these tracks up, they've got a pretty good idea of what's going on. Are they going to drop the Death Ward here? Haven't thrown it out yet, just the auto attacks. Pasha actually took a lot of damage there. He has to be careful. He will lose the Aegis off the back of doing about 100 damage to this Rax.
A level 4 Maledict doing work.
Yeah.
Even if he armlet toggled the first tick, I'm pretty sure the second would have killed him anyway, so... This is why I think, after how the past 2 went, because they kind of screwed up and dived a bit too much, they want to split the lanes. And all 3 lanes are literally pushing in, so... It might be death by 1,000 cuts, but... It's better than prolonging the game by 20 minutes, because your Chaos Knight can't quite force a Brax at this point.
Well, mid tower has been denied. We do have some units pushing in on the top lane, so we'll see whether the Treants can get that as well. Nature's Prophet now also attacking the ranged Rax in middle, beginning to get work done on there.
And the CK just needs like 200 more for his heart, so that might be enough of a confidence booster for them to try again without an Aegis. I wouldn't be surprised if they just keep doing what they're doing though and wait. Like, Lo can sit and farm. Speaking of, he's been farming like really well this entire game.
Yeah, we haven't talked about it, but you know, he's casually got a Aghanim, Scepter, Mule, Orchid. Just
To be fair, when
Nature's Prophet things.
when he played on VP, he still got like really good farm with a less like prioritized hero. So I'm not surprised he can do it with a Prophet.
Now, we do have buybacks up on a couple of heroes. It looks like Goomba being very diligent about saving theirs for buyback. We're gonna see push coming in top and middle again. Ember Spirit's pretty much able to handle these treants right now, but we've got illusions poking at the tower. It is still less than 100 damage done to it. Like, this is the slowest siege I've ever seen. It's really paper cuts.
Yep.
Super ranged creep. Oh, Pasha, he's not going to get shackled there. He's just going to walk on out. Puck jumps in, has already dropped the veil, going to jump on out, but no, they pull back. And now Pasha caught in the chronosphere. The only one, actually. Time dilation, all the swap. They're going to lose themselves, Xena, but it doesn't matter. There's the stun out onto the windrunner. There's the black hole, though. It manages to hit on one, but it's not enough. And suddenly there are a million CKs all around. Phantasm has been popped. The damage coming out. Celery not quite dead yet, but a few more auto attacks. Flash Strike is still in that wind run, but will he end up going down? Really good job there getting a crit, getting rid of all of those illusions, and so they lose the Chaos Knight. Windrunner buys back and is back in this game, but Lil forced to run away, shackled to the puck, and they will both be going down. Alpha Ninja first, Lil to follow, and another disastrous push for them. Nature's Prophet trying to get the middle business done, but just one crit from that Ember Spirit, and you get nothing.
One crit, 6k gold. Now he has money for a rapier and a blink nearly. No, I suppose crit. You know, we'll play standard Dota, but
We've seen this game before, where a team with a CK and a Nature's Prophet failed to push, and then it's gone.
I think they just really screwed up, like, with the Aegis getting popped and then the heart coming out. That was like a window they really wanted to synergize, because it's a really big peak. Like, heart's just like a scene pushing item these days, especially with how they're doing it. Or, you know, just go up, hit it a few times, pop your mantle when a shackle comes in or something, disjoint it, back off. You've got Venge if you need to get out of any of the ults. And then just heal up with heart, rinse, repeat. And Goomba don't have a way of stopping that unless there's a big initiation from them. However, that window really quickly fades when Ember has enough damage to just kill the creep waves or basically make you back off before you hit the racks.
Yeah.
The big upside for them is they're nearing a hex on the puck, and they're working towards one, I'm guessing, on the bounty.
Yeah, go on. Sorry, just laughing at the game.
So if they don't get, like, a Lotus Orb really soon for Goomba, and I don't think anyone's going to get it unless it's for Void or the Enigma. And let's be honest, who buys Lotus Orb on Void? People generally will just go Ags. Then the Ember can die. You know, same way as I was saying earlier when he gets caught out by reality rifts or whatever. Hex is even better. Unfortunately, the puck is like 2,000 away, but hey ho, they have time.
This is not great. It's what? I just think that with their lineup, Goomba, especially the gold that they're now getting pumped into them, Faceless Void, who had pretty much no farm, is suddenly able to, you know, as long as he keeps farming a little bit, he'll have an Ags. And that's when things, they're already pretty scary, I'd argue, with the Ember being so rich, but things are terrifying when not only is the Ember rich, but Chronosphere can be dropped every 60 seconds.
I'm kind of not sure if I think he should go Ags, just because, like, obviously I'm playing with information he doesn't have. He might not know that Bounty has an ultimate orb and is halfway to a Hex. He probably knows Puck is going to a Hex, but doesn't know how close he is. So, well-organized team right there. You know, alright boys, we're ready, let's go. One person's still AFK. Good data. But I think getting the Lotus Orb could be more beneficial, because he's the safest person to get it on. He can blink in, Lotus Orb the Ember if he gets hexed, or anyone who gets caught in the front, time leap away, or, you know, time leap even further in and get a better chrono.
Yeah, it's
Whereas
it's
Enigma
a tough
getting a Lotus
decision.
Orb, he doesn't have a way of getting out if he blinks in. Maybe I'm overstating it, and chrono is just better because it then means Black Hole is no longer so important to your lineup.
Okay, we are gonna see the catch out onto Skitter. He manages to remnant over to the side. The CK illusion doing mad work, but nobody dead yet. A really odd engagement there. And again, CK illusions just hitting like trucks. In the meantime, they have decided to split. We can see that Lil is desperately working on that top tower. He's going to get it down. Ember Spirit coming in, gets a couple of crits, gonna decimate that tree army, but the ranged Rax already taking a lot of damage. And in bottom, we have a full-on team fight. The Phantasms are out. Goomba, they're losing. Scarbo, who manages to time walk it back up to full health. Nature's Prophet kills off the Ember Spirit up in top, and they've finally broken the base here. Rax are down. So many CK illusions going around. Ember Spirit able to do a bit of damage to them, but now they're working on this ranged Rax. Maybe finally they can do something to this melee in mid. Oh, Puck jumps into all of them, silences them up. Ninja is still there. Didn't actually jump forwards, but they pick off the Ember Spirit. He has no buyback, and that's it. Polarity should be able to take all the Rax here. They still have everybody up and ready. And what just happened there? Just a little mistake there. Somehow the Ember gets picked off in the top lane against Lil.
Well, he tried to man-fight him and got 0 crits, so that was
now
unfortunate.
Enigma gonna fall. They're losing their Faceless Void. Slash on the sidelines getting hit up because there's a full MKB on Nature's Prophet. Everybody who can buying back, but it's not enough. Goomba only have 2 left. 37 minutes in, plus some change from these pauses. 3-man black hole. But Polarity gonna be heading into game 2 up a game.
Yeah, I think Goomba really needs to... Like, they had a really strong draft until I think they went with the Ember. It just kind of didn't synergize with what they wanted. I think it was purely a response to it can kill Prophet in the lane and it can deal with CK as the game goes on. But I think that's just kind of flawed thinking. So maybe they could get something that synergizes a bit better and doesn't let Polarity run away with the laning stage. Because they played so well. Like, I do think Goomba didn't give them the hardest opposition, but like that 2-3 minute team fight they had, they played it pretty much perfectly. For a team that's not been together for that long, I was kind of impressed. And I really liked their draft as well. It's just like typical Russian draft, like bounty hunter, run at people.
I think it was a really good job on, as you said, on Goomba. Like, they held that. A lot of teams, you know, you're pretty far behind, you can feel it. They stuck it out, and they showed that their lineup had some potential there. Unfortunately, the Ember pickoff, all Polarity needed to break the base. Either way, guys, we'll get you into game 2 right quick. I'm Llama Down Under. I've been joined by PqMz. We'll see you again shortly. Please enjoy the break.